We're going to give everyone a couple of minutes to get started here, but once everyone joins, we will get going. A couple more minutes and we'll get started. Thank you for those who are joining. Okay, so we got a couple people. Let's go ahead and get started. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jay Kirschfield. I'm the founder and CEO of Unshuffled. Um, Today, I'm going to go through just a little bit of our founding story. I'm going to go through a couple fun new games that I recently discovered in my journey of creating Unshuffled, and then how to play them, and then talk about some stuff we're working on because I think it's super exciting and, you know, want to share that in part of this journey with you all. So, um, the journey of Unshuffled goes back to March of 2020, right when COVID started. So I was living in San Diego, where I'm from. My parents and I were living together because I was on my way up to San Francisco. I was moving there. My partner is a resident at UCSF, and we were going up for her to start her first year residency. And so I was living at home, and it was one night, and we're hanging out, and my mom and I are having dinner, and I just hear my dad screaming. He's screaming in the other room, and this is the story of how Unshuffled started. And I get up and I walk into his office, and he's sitting there with like three monitors, and he's playing poker with all of his friends online. But they don't play Texas Hold'em. They don't play Omaha. They play like these really goofy games, gut style games, other games, and you can't play them online. So he's got a Zoom monitor up on one screen. He's got a playing cards app on another, and then on his third screen, and I'll go ahead and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. He's got this Excel macro document put together, and he's literally keeping track of bets on Excel. And I couldn't believe that this is what they were doing. And after talking to him, he told me it took him 40 minutes to get the Zoom started. So I was like, there's got to be a better way. And he totally agreed. And, that night we sat down, we talked about it for like, 3 hours, going through all the different workflows. And, fast forward a year, a bunch of successes, even more failures, we've got Unshuffled. And it's been a ton of fun. It's quite the roller coaster. I got to say, we've got amazing users who are always willing to give feedback. So, we wouldn't be anywhere without all of you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you joining to help and to listen to what we have going on. And I'm excited to kind of go through some of the stuff we're working on and walk through a couple of new games. So with that, I want to go through two fun games. We'll do that. That's a little more fun, I think. And then we'll go into what we're working on. So let me go ahead and click on hide there because no one wants to see that. We have our auto games and our auto templates, and you can play any of those. They're always sitting right here. But we also have this, create templates experience, and that's what I'm going to spend a little bit of time on now. I think a lot of our users don't use it that often, which is totally fine because, you think online poker, you want to play something that's fast and quick and lots of hands. But you know what? We built this for home games, and home games typically mean, the dealer gets to choose, and maybe we'll play Texas Hold'em one time, and then we'll play, you know, two-row Omaha, or we'll play Irish poker or some other crazy game. So I was doing some research and I found this game called Spaghetti, which I thought was kind of a hilarious variation of poker. And so I'm going to go ahead and make it. I've never played and I've never made it either. So this is my first time. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It looks a little bit, I'm on a second monitor here, so it looks a little bit small for you all. So Spaghetti is, I think it gets its name because you've got this long row of community cards. You actually put 7 community cards in a row. So we're going to deal these 7 community cards, and we're going to do them all at the same time. So we'll just do face down. So there's 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops, 5, 6, 7. And then I believe each player, and I got to double check my rules here. 1 second. Each player gets 5 cards. But let's double check because I don't want to screw everyone up here. Yes, 5 cards. Okay. So 5 cards face down. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just as a reminder for everyone, we're building a template. So once the template's built, we can play it in our room. So I'm going to go deal order. I'm just going to deal all the cards right away. They're all face down. First deal order. So when we select the hand, it'll all come out face down. We'll go to our custom settings. We're going to leave it at standard. We're going to call this Spaghetti. I don't know how to spell spaghetti. Spaghetti. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Maybe we'll call it spaghetti next time. And that's it. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to use our play the computer feature. It's like a fun way to test our templates and see how they're working. We'll go ahead and do dealer's choice. We'll turn blinds on. We'll leave everything else. We're not in like a huge rush in this little variation with no turn timer. And we'll go ahead and play now. Let's join the room. And we'll buy in. We'll get our computer players to join. And we will start the game. Let's get my camera up and running because usually it's defaults to a snap camera. I was doing some testing. There we go. Hi, everyone. Okay, so let's play Spaghetti. So the way you play Spaghetti, at least as I understand it, is each player's got 5 cards. And then we start by having a betting round. So the goal of this game is to make the best 5-card hand, but we're going to use 2 cards from our hand and community cards. And you'll see as we play the game what I mean by that. So we'll go ahead. We'll do a betting round. These computer players aren't all that smart. It's like playing with my friends. They're pretty stupid. For the sake of this game, we're just going to call and check through these hands just to get an idea of what we're doing. And then once each round ends, what happens is we flip 2 end cards. At this stage, what we do is we discard 2 cards. So my computer players can't discard, so I'm going to discard for everyone. But in this scenario, you discard 1 card and then you do another betting round. So I'm going to get rid of my, I'm going to get rid of my 6. And then I'll just have each player get rid of a card because I can. And then we do another betting round. And then we're going to do the same thing again. And we're going to do another betting round. And then we're going to do the same thing again. And then we're going to do another betting round. And then that will be it. I got a question. Does the program save templates so I can use other people's templates? Yeah. So if I were playing not with computer players, and other people, I do have friends, I promise. Normally I play with people, but for the sake of this demonstration, we're just using computer players. Everyone in the room gets to share templates. So any template I have as a dealer choosing, every single one of my friends at the room will also be able to choose from. So any templates that you create, the other players can choose as well. So maybe everyone loves spaghetti. Anyone can choose it for their turn when they're the dealer. Okay, so we'll flip 2 more cards. Shouldn't have got rid of that 6. And now I have to discard again, and I don't really know what to get rid of. So, I mean, I guess I got to go one of my twos, right? Let's get rid of the heart in case we somehow get a flush. Although there's no diamonds, that would be pretty miraculous. Again, these players would discard a card as well normally, but because they're computer players, they're not able to. So we're just going to do it for them. We do know the betting round, but for the sake of the demonstration, I'm not going to go through every single betting round. It seems unnecessary. So we do another betting round, and then we would flip 2 more cards over. We discard 1 more card. And in this case, it's going to be my 2. I don't have a very good hand. These guys will discard a card as well. And we do the final card. Now, there's a fun variation that I thought of in this game where the last card is a wild card, which is cool because, you don't know what the last card is until obviously it's flipped over, and it's the last betting round. Obviously, we're not going to do that in this version, but kind of fun. So we flip this card over. We'll do the last betting round just for fun. And then the goal of the game is to make the best 5-card hand using the 2 cards from your hand and any 3 of the community cards. You have to use the 2 cards from your hand. It's not like Texas Hold'em where you can use any combination. So I'm just going to go ahead and check. And then what we'll do is we'll just show our cards, and we'll select the winner. These guys need to flip their cards over. Looks like actually I've got a chance here. Did I win? I think I won. Hey, that's always fun. So what we do is we end the hand, we select the winner, and in this case, we'll pick me. I didn't plan that, don't worry. And we would distribute the pot. So that is spaghetti. Kind of fun, kind of cool. Could be fun variation to play with your friends, whether you're playing online or you're playing in person. Maybe a fun game that you all can play. I want to quickly go through one other game because one of the things we're working on is an auto variation of this game, and it's one of my favorites, and it's one of my dad's favorites. And to be completely candid, it's the main reason why we built this platform. And it's called Iron Cross. So for this game, I actually can't use the computer players because they're not smart enough for the declaration rounds. It's a guts game, so we need to leave antes on. It's played with antes. We'll leave the max bet to no limit. All this is fine. We'll go ahead and play now. I'm going to join from another computer here. And then we'll go ahead and go through this quick demonstration. And then I'll go through some of the things we're working on. It'll be like a sneak peek. It'll be fun. So, Iron Cross. Again, you got to play in an ante room. You can't play Iron Cross in a blinds room. It's a gut style game. Whoop. Got to turn my mute off because we got 2 players now. Turn my front camera on. Cool. So it's a gut style game. I think this is one of the coolest things about Unshuffled is you can't play gut style games on any other online platform. At least not that I know of. If someone knows of one, please let me know. I'd love to see it and maybe learn from it. But guts is fun because the stakes are always really high. And if you're like me, you love to play high stakes with your friends. So, Iron Cross. In this game, each player gets 3 cards, and then there's a cross that's dealt, hence the name. It's 3-card poker. So the card rankings are a little different than 5-card poker. 3 of a kind is the best hand, and then it's flush, and then straight, and then 2 pair, and then high card. Typically with your friends, maybe you want to play with a little bit of a higher pot than 20 just because it's a pot matching game. So what you can do is you can just bet and add maybe 1 more ante's worth of chips. So I'm going to go ahead and have each player do that just to get the stakes up a little bit more. And then what we do is we flip over 2 cards. So the first thing you do in this game is you do a declaration round. Now the goal of the game, again, is to make the best 3-card hand. And you're going to do that using your hand and then either these 2 face-up cards, the horizontal cards, the up-down cards, or the face-down cards. You're going to have to choose those cards after the 2nd declaration round. What's cool about Unshuffled and why you can't really play this online except for now is that previously the way Guts is played, usually you hold your cards in front of you and you go 3, 2, 1, and you drop them all at the same time. Dropping means you want to be out of the hand. Staying means you want to stay in the hand. Obviously, you can't do that online. So what we've done is we've created a declarations feature, which lets players stay or drop. And with this declarations feature, we get these little thought bubbles. So when I stay, with this player and stay with this player, they don't show until everyone's made their declaration, which is pretty cool. At this stage, what we do is each player gets one more card. Staying has a penalty of 10% of the pot. So if you stay and then you drop after the next declaration round, which we're going to do now, let's say I were to drop, I would owe 10% of this pot. So I'd owe 4 chips as a penalty. We're going to have both players say, I actually have pretty good cards, so I'm going to stay. And this player's going to stay as well. And then what we'll do is we'll decide which cards we want to use. So I'm going to use my 2 aces, probably, because they're pretty good. Or maybe I can get a jack of clubs somehow. So I'm going to go for these bottom 3. And this player will just say we'll go for the up. No, we'll go up and down. Actually, no, we'll go across because they have a straight. Now, this is where playing this manually gets kind of complicated and why we're building the auto template. So anyway, I'll go ahead and flip these cards over. That stinks because I don't have my my flush, but I do have 2 aces still and a king, which isn't too bad. This player, on the other hand, has actually I do have a flush because these cards are all spades. And this player, on the other hand, has a straight. So I'm going to win. We would show our cards. We would end the hand. We would select the winner. And this is where the pot matching gets fun. When we distribute the pot, you see this player owes 40 chips, which is matching the pot. And this is what I think makes this game fun, because now what we do with more players, maybe there'd be 3 losers. The pot would be 120. And then the next round, each player would match 120. And as you see, the stakes just go higher and higher and higher. So it's super fun. I love this game. It's the main reason why we built this platform. You can tell that it's pretty complicated when you're playing manually. We're building the auto template, so you won't have to do any of that stuff. You'll get to select the cards you want. It's super, super cool. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you all are too. Quickly, I'll go over some of the stuff we're working on, including the Iron Cross template. There's not much to show there, but there is some cool stuff to show in the way of getting online. So one of the things that our users have complained about quite a bit is the sign-up flow, signing in flow. You know, I want to start a room with my friends. I send out a link to all my friends, and then they all have to sign in and get the 2-factor authentication, and it just takes kind of long. So what we're doing is we're building a guest tier. Now the guest tier, don't worry, we're not charging anyone anything yet. There's no cost associated with anything. The advantages of being a signed-in user is you can still play with the computer, you can still create templates, and you can play in our public rooms. However, if you're hosting a room with your friends, what you can do is schedule your room, do whatever you want to do. Let's just say we're playing now. I copy my link, and then you can send it to your friends who maybe have never signed into Unshuffled, and I can send them the link. And instead of having to go through that whole workflow, they can click continue as guest. We're going to put them in right at the table. We've got our buy-in range, which is new, and we're going to give them a fun name like Clark Kent. We think this is going to speed up the process for playing games with your friends quite a bit. And we're super, super excited about it. Like I said, we're adding the ability for you to play Iron Cross as an auto template. We've got a couple other games coming, including but not limited to Irish Poker, which is a combination of Omaha and Texas Hold'em, as well as 2 to 7 triple draws. So instead of 1 draw round, there'll be 3. Other than that, that's mostly all I have for this week's update. Got a question from one of our followers. Great question. There are not a limited number of times you could play as a guest. You can play as a guest as much as you want. Our goal is not to limit the amount that you all can play, especially when you're playing with your friends. Our motto is let's just make it as easy as possible. We need 1 user to be signed in order to generate the room. Outside of that, everyone can be guests. We think that as guests, you'll start to use the platform more. You're going to fall in love with it, and you're going to want to build the templates and build your own custom games. We're going to start doing giveaways and prizes for, leaderboard winners at the end of each week in the public rooms, which I'll show you all now. Can't show it as a guest again because you're not signed in, but we already have the public rooms in production. So when I go to find a room, we've got our leaderboard here. You can see we've got all these players who have, won chips in public rooms, and they have these badges, these crowns. And what we're doing is going to start giving away Amazon gift cards to players who finish in the top 10 each week. So again, in order to do that, you got to be signed in as guests. But yeah, I mean, no friction. We're trying to reduce friction for playing. So that's kind of our hope and our goal. And we think that the guest workflow is going to help a lot with that, especially for home games. Other than that, I created a email newsletter that's different from the newsletters you get with our product updates each week. That newsletter includes instructions on how to play games like Spaghetti and Irish Poker and Iron Cross and so on and so forth. Trying to do maybe 1 or 2 a week. Please subscribe. I will send out a link to that in the chat. And then other than that, if you guys have any other questions, I'll stick on for a little longer. And otherwise, I really appreciate you all joining. And I hope that you all come back again next week, because we'll be doing this every week going forward, same day, same time. And yeah, that's it. Here is the link for the Substack. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. One last thing. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time, we're hosting our first free roll. A free roll is just an opportunity for you to join in a poker game without having to put up any stakes. And then those users can play, and the winner gets a prize. So in this scenario, we're gonna do a $50 giveaway. It's at 6 p.m. Only 7 people can join because, of course, I'll be playing. And yes, I will be going for the $50 giveaway. Of course, if I win, that just means I don't have to give away $50, but that's okay. So the link to that will go out in an email. I'll post it to Twitter. Please follow us on Twitter. I'll post it on LinkedIn. And yeah, super excited for you all to join that. That'll be a lot of fun. Other than that, that is the end of the live stream. I hope you all enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you all here next week, same time, same place.